Evening, everybody. Welcome to the match day preview with myself and LUFC Stats Andrew Dalton. Every time I hear the StreamYard music countdown, I expect to hear Joel Wayman's voice go, way! Every single time I forget my own music has to kick in my own shot. Stats, how you doing, mate?
Very well. Another 3 points on Saturday, and I think around 3:45 we're all buzzing at the time we're 2-0 up at St Mary's, but didn't quite work out at that. But all Leeds can do is win their games, and that's what they're doing at the moment.
And they, even though we're still probably not, as Tony Dorigo says it, not as efficient in front of goal as we could be, given the amount of chances, we could be 8-0 up at half time against Rotherham. The football I thought this weekend was incredibly smooth, and I really did enjoy watching what they put together. Some of the passing patterns were lovely. It was great to see it. Great to see it.
Absolutely. And can I do our job? And that's what we're doing.
Yep. Also, people pointing out, if you're listening on Spotify, I might reference some comments to people in the chat. I will try and keep the comments on screen as long as I can. People are asking to keep them on longer, but I am trying to manage between listening to Andrew, because that's important, and also reading what's in the chat. I don't have a producer, so I wish I did this as a full-time job, but sadly I don't. So I will try and keep them on there. Oh, there you go. You're back again.
I'm back
again. How are you doing? What's you saying? People are pointing out about the team. We get the team news in a minute, but how undroppable people are right now, and with injuries coming back, the depth of squad that we've got now, Andrew, versus before, having to be able to say, oh, you can't drop this guy, and you can't drop this guy, and you can't drop this guy, is an incredibly strong position for Daniel Farke to be in. We did a live stream with Joe during the week, myself, Lockie, and Andrea did a stream around what is Leeds' best 11. We spoke for an hour and 43 minutes, and in the very, very end, we came back to the exact same team that Daniel Farke had picked for the previous match. We couldn't figure what we thought was the best. All different permutations. You take one player out. Yeah. The knock-on effect was great. We saw it the weekend with Connor Roberts coming on and going in at right back, and then that pushed Archie into midfield. Smooth as you like. Didn't affect the team. If anything, gave us another lease of life to push on. So that's an interesting and really, I think, positive position for Leeds to be in at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're coming into what they describe as the business end of the season, aren't we? We've got 15 league games left. Hopefully that'll be that, playoffs. And he's going to have to utilise his squad. We've got 2 massive away games to come this week, obviously, starting at the Liberty on Tuesday night against Swansea City before an arduous trip back down south to play Plymouth Argyle on Saturday lunchtime. So it's a wonderful position for Daniel to be in. This is why he's at the club. This is why he's manager of Leeds United to make these decisions. And I think at this time of the season, you are going to have to just juggle your squad a little bit. We've also got Leicester City coming up at Ellen Road a week on Friday before Chelsea in the FA Cup, and then less than 48 hours later we go to Huddersfield Town for the Yorkshire Derby. So it's a wonderful thing to have for a manager, and that's why he's paid the mega bucks to do the job. And we have got options, and all the players are coming to form at just the right time as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm going to point this out because sometimes people make this point. I want to make it very clear. Someone's asking, you can put your camera at eye level. Andrew doesn't have the kit that I have because Andrew doesn't do this full time like I do. So Andrew is doing what he has on his kit. I very much appreciate Andrew coming on and doing this for us. So whatever way it looks, there are people listening to this and not watching the visuals as well. It's available on Spotify and podcasts as well. It's not the most important thing.
Thank you.
Not that you're not a very handsome man, Andrew, but I don't think anyone really needs to see our faces to get the information. Right, okay? But I do appreciate it. So I appreciate you being here, and I know what you're doing here. I know. I'm going to post you a camera at some point, and we'll do that. All right? There's plenty of line around there somewhere. We'll sort that out.
If anyone wants to post their camera, feel free to.
Yeah, of course I will. I've got a little stamina. I'm going to send them over to you. It'll be good. All right. There's a lot of people saying thing about, we can't drop Kamara, and Roberts will be lucky to get into the team if he is. And that's a really good place to be, right? Because this team is unbeaten in 6 league matches, record-setting performances right now in the start of a new calendar year. Why would you change a winning team?
Absolutely. I thought Daniel got it spot on with his game management on from Crescencio Somerville, and he just made the subs and he rested some tired legs, obviously, from the boggy pitch down at Home Park in the FA Cup on Tuesday last week. And it worked. The game was won, wasn't it, after an hour against Rotherham? And he knows what he's doing. And it'll be very interesting to see the team news. Obviously, Dan James is now fit. Does he come straight back in for Willie Nonto, who's been hitting the goals in the last few games? So it's great to have these options. And that's what you want from a squad of 20 players or so, to be able to have options for players to come in that are a bit out of form or have picked up a niggle here or there. We also might pick up suspensions between now and the end of the season. I think Ethan Ampadu's on 7 yellow cards, and I think the cut-off point is 37 games. So he's going to be walking a little bit of a tightrope between now and that particular part of the season. So, yeah, he's got to have these options as Daniel, and it's that part of the season, isn't it, Jay, that you are going to pick up knocks and you've got players ready to come in, ready to go again.
Sorry, 1 second. Neil, I've already explained to me. Please stop asking.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is. Look, it is. He's paid the big bucks to make the difficult decisions, and right now he's got a lot of difficult decisions to make. This team is flowing really, really, really well right now. So, yeah, it's a good position to be in. There will be injuries picked up. There will be suspensions. I think it's 10 yellow cards before the 30-something game mark. Yeah. So, depending on how that goes, playing defense, he's probably less likely to pick up yellow cards at the moment playing at centre back. And we'll cover that off in the team news. Actually, we'll probably cover that off now. If you look at from a team news perspective, Stuart Dallas there's an unknown date around when Daly will be back. We have seen him around the tunnel in trainers, no braces or anything on his leg, but it is as we keep saying, the injury he had was an injury that's described as an injury you pick up at a car crash. So it's that amount of force, breaking your femur, which is your femur bone is likened to concrete. That's how thick and how hard it is. So when you break that, the force that's needed to break that. Who knew Jack Grealish's legs were that strong? But probably explains why he doesn't need to wear shin pads anymore. But Daly's on his way back. Hopefully we will get to see him, but there's still an unknown date there. Some updates on Pascal Strauch's injury. So minimum 2 to 3 weeks. Again, he's finished his injection therapy. He's doing a bit of work, but they do reckon it will still be 2 to 3 weeks before he will be back in team. He said it's difficult to say right now. I think that kind of makes sense why Leeds might have been having a look at Joe Worrell during the transfer window as well. Bearing in mind with that, but then seeing how well Ilya Groove is doing, Glenn Kamara back to his best last weekend, Ethan Abbott doing some fun. We've got players that just slot in, don't we?
Oh, absolutely. And that's what having a squad's all about. And as you rightly say, players do pick up knocks. We've got look on the bench on Saturday against Rotherham United. We had options to come off the bench, like Joe Gelhardt had a fine substitute appearance against Plymouth in the FA Cup. So Matteo Joseph, I thought, looked decent against Plymouth as well. So it's great to have these options. And this is the vital part of the season. We've had the first 31 games of the season. That's gone. We're into the final third of the season, and we'll see me into that running in the business end of the season, and where things are decided. And it's great for Daniel to have these options off the bench for players to come on if needs be.
Yeah. The other one to talk about then is Sam Byron. There's been a little bit of an overreaction online to the news that Sam Byron. We know Sam Byron was going to have injuries on and off all season. We know that he cost us nothing. He's on a low wage at the club. When he's available, great. When he's not available, expect it. What they've said is it's a slight muscle injury. It's very, very minor. It's to his other hamstring. And the club are taking him out because of the amount of games we have in a short space of time. They're taking him out because he doesn't need to be there right now. Sorry.
Exactly.
Voldemort and Hagrid. There we go. That's me. There we go.
Which one am I? Hagrid then? About Harry Potter knowledge.
At least you've got a nose. Yeah, it is an interesting one. So if you look at this, you're going to have let's get off the screen real quick. So it's a minor injury with him. We've got cover in those positions. They are taking a precaution just to remove him from the firing line temporarily. I'm sure he'll be back in by the weekend. You're going to get this with Sam for the rest of the season. It'll be fine. Dan James is back and available, which will put pressure. You've already mentioned the competition with Willie Gnonto. Willie has been in incredible form in the last couple of weeks. Looked very dangerous and gives us something different because Willie likes to come inside with the ball. Dan James very much likes to hug the line and go down the wing. So when we do need to change it, having that second option is a positive one for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll have that off the bench. We've also got Jaden Anthony as well to come off the bench if needs be. So we've got players there that can come and do a job. And these games, you've got a lot of travelling involved, haven't you, to Swansea and then to Plymouth on Saturday. I'm sure that they'll go down Friday for the game at Home Park on Saturday lunchtime. And that's, as I say, this part of the season is humongous because this is where you start to see the tables really do start to take shape. And we'll have an eye on what's Southampton to do at Bristol City tomorrow and at West Brom on Friday night. And obviously with Leeds, Swansea and Plymouth this week as well, ahead of that massive mouth-watering clash against Leicester City a week on Friday. So, yeah, I'm pleased he's got these options. Look, Paddy had a spell out of the team. Look what it's done for him. It's reinvigorated him. He's come back into his side, look absolutely brilliant. Got his 56th goal for the club on Saturday afternoon against Rotherham. So, yeah, I think it's brilliant to have these options. And if someone does like pick a knock, if Creed picks up a knock, which I hope he doesn't, you've got options that can come off the bench. And the likes if Willie Gnonto's on the bench or Dan James off the bench to come and replace him. So the options are certainly there for me, and it's a vital time of the season.
Yeah. We got that Jamie Shackleton is fit but won't be in the squad due to a personal issue that he is stepping out of the squad for this weekend. But Farke is delighted to have him back in the mix, has been back in team training, so that's good. From a Fonzie From a Swansea perspective, Kyle Naughton was expected to probably miss the game. Their manager has confirmed that he had a knock. He's fine. He should be okay for this game at the weekend. They are without Josh King, Harrison Ashby, who Leeds were linked with very heavily last summer, actually from West Ham. And Harry Darling will also miss the game. So they're missing a couple of players as well. We've got a couple coming back.
Yes.
I think we're probably in a slightly stronger position squad-wise stats than they are.
Yeah, I would say so. Also, there's a bit of confidence running through the squad now with the 6 straight victories. Swansea, come off the back of an excellent victory at the MKM Stadium against Hull City on Saturday afternoon, where Hull, I think, were booed off the pitch, actually, in that particular one. So, yeah, I would say we're stronger. I think we travelled down today, so I'll be in the hotel this evening and raring to go in South Wales tomorrow evening.
Yeah, the clarity around the Patrick Bamford situation at the weekend as well, just to make it very clear from my perspective. Of course, he handles the ball. He puts his elbow on the ball and within the back of the net. Is it a handball? Yeah, it's a handball. It's an absolute handball, but it's not Patrick Bamford's job to blow the whistle. That's the referee's job. Paddy put the ball in the back of the net. The referee thought it was a foul or a handball. The referee would have given it. The referee didn't. The goal stood. Move on. Yeah. And that's where I am with that. So
yeah. And the other thing I'll say on that is Leeds should have had a stonewall free kick on the edge of the area when Willie Nonto was completely taken out. And I think there was a really nasty tackle on Joe Rodon in the first half.
It really was. Well. Yeah, that was a horrible tackle.
That was right down his calf. Could have been a red card. I thought Andy Madley had a really poor game on Saturday afternoon for both sides. So, look, swings and roundabouts. You look at the decision at Ashton Gate, which had a stonewall penalty. West Brom scored with a goal back in August that hit the striker's hand. So it swings and roundabouts. It is what it is. We don't make the decisions. Andy Madley should have seen it. He didn't. As Liam Richardson said, that's not why Rotherham lost the game. Had that goal been disallowed, I was more than confident Leeds were going to win that game anyway. And that's what they did.
Yeah, I remember when I played. It's one game that sticks out in my head. I scored 2 goals and I scored my hat-trick by punching the ball over the goalkeeper's head with a straight one-on-one ball over the top, and I ran straight through. Just did that. The referee didn't see it. I did have a long stare at the referee before I ran off celebrating. The whistle never went, so I ran off celebrating. I didn't stop, put my hand up and go, "Oh, I handled that, ref."
You played to the whistle. The referee and the linesman have got to see that.
Yeah, take the goal. Form guide wise, Leeds obviously in fantastic form, 6 league wins in a row, which is really good. We are third in the table. We are now in a position that even if Ipswich win their game in hand, Leeds have a better goal difference, which will keep us in third position, which is a huge step in terms of getting to those automatic spots as well. I did say before Christmas, after we lost to Preston, I thought the automatic spaces are probably gone. We've come back on past Ipswich now as well. They're having a serious wobble. Ipswich will take on Millwall this weekend away from home, which is not an easy game. Especially form they're in as well. They're not in good form. Like 1 win and 6 for them or something like that. It's not great. Southampton, from another perspective, they travel to Bristol City, which won't be an easy game, but very much a winnable game for them. But they have tougher games coming up in the next couple of weeks, so I'm not looking at them this week. We can go second temporarily should we win the game, which would be nice, depending on times of kickoffs and that we could possibly be second tomorrow night. But third is still fine. We're opening that gap between us and fourth. And, I still think Southampton will have their wobble. And then, as we all know, final day of the season.
Yeah. I'm trying not to think about that. I'm hoping it'll be done and dusted by then, because I don't think my heart will take it for a winner-takes-all, basically playoff final shootout at Ellen Road. But lots to play for. A lot of games to play. Leeds have still got to play Leicester, of course. Southampton, I think, have still got to go to the King Power as well. So there's some really, really big games to come, and it's exciting to be involved with it as well.
Paul Cornwell, hi Darren. Stats. I honestly don't remember the last time we were in this position. We've actually got good, strong, reactive choices in most positions. Keep up good work, lads. Thank you very much, Paul. Yeah, we do. We've got some proper, and also I said this on Joe's show yesterday. I think Daniel Farke, the last couple of weeks when the likes of Matteo Joseph, maybe the Plymouth game in the Cup, the replay was actually a good thing, because we saw Matteo Joseph get a start in that game and really show what he could do and be a very good option up front. I think Daniel Farke is looking at the squad now and thinking, I do trust these players on the bench. I will. And if you look at how he used the bench this weekend, it's probably the most proactive he's been on with the subs this weekend.
Yeah, because I think he knew with what was to come over the week that once that Rotherham game was done and dusted, that he did make the subs, and he made them excellently, and the game management was superb. Okay, the game died out a little bit in the last 20 minutes, but when you're 3-0 up against the side, bottom of the league, that's always going to happen. So, yeah, game management, absolutely perfect. And it'll be interesting to see the team news ahead of tomorrow's game about 6:45.
Yeah, back at Patrick Bamford again, people. He's a cheat. Just want to follow that up with this lovely post from Arthur. Let's not forget the West Brom player who handled the ball and it ended up being a draw then with us. And that handball did impact the result, whereas the Rotherham manager himself said Patrick Bamford's handball didn't impact the result.
And I think Liam Richardson, I don't know if he's got his Leeds United hat on there because he's a Leeds United fan. But it happens. It swings in roundabouts. And to be really honest with you, sat in the gantry I was on Saturday, I didn't think it was straight away. But it's only once I've seen the replays that we can own up it was. But there was some questionable decisions, as we both mentioned, that kind of went against Leeds on Saturday. But the decisions do even themselves out.
Yeah, he had a bad day at the office all around, to be fair. But luckily for us, we took advantage of those where rather than less so. And we've had some situations this year. We've seen Jorginho Rutter get booked for, as Andy Hitchcliffe said, diving. And when we saw the replay back to it, his foot was still on. We saw Andy Hitchcliffe also say that Jorginho Rutter dived in the Plymouth game as well, went down too easily when there was a clear scissor tackles on him in the box. So we've had our moments this year, but we haven't got decisions that we should have gotten as well. So as you said, this swings and roundabouts, and it does even itself over time.
Every club will get a decision that goes for or against us, and we got one on Saturday. But again, that wasn't the reason we won the game convincingly. We would have won that game 4-0 without that decision.
Yeah, and just this comment from Paddy about Mateo Joseph coming in. He gets 20-30 minutes. We'll get goals out of him. I think you'll start seeing Mateo Joseph getting a lot more minutes between now and the end of the season. I think he's moved from being I'm not really sure we'll give him some game time. Looks good in training. We'll give him 5-10 minutes to now being a case of Paddy's getting tired now, half an hour to go. Let's ping Paddy off and let's put him in there instead. He can do a job. And I like that. I like what I've seen in Mateo Joseph. I've been kind of pushing for him since the start of the season. I think he's a clinical finisher. If he gets some chances in around the box, I think he will start scoring goals. I would be shocked if him and Archie Gray don't finish the season with a goal. At least one.
I'm desperate for Archie to score. Desperate. And he nearly did on Saturday. But yeah, I've got a lovely start if he does score to do with the Gray family as well. So, but I'm leaving that one until he does hit the back of it, which I'm sure he will do.
Yeah, stats in terms of the two teams. So let's say Leeds 5 wins in the last 5 games, 6 wins on the road, 6 wins in total. Swansea 1 draw, 3 losses, 1 win, 16th in the table. They did win at the weekend 1-0 to Hull, so they've got that. But again, Leeds coming in a much better run of form. And stats wise for this, what have you got for the two teams?
From a Leeds perspective, obviously looking to win 7 league games in a row for the first time since December 2019 under Marcelo Bielsa. So I've done that twice under Bielsa actually. They did that I think in sort of back in December 2018. Did it under David O'Leary and also did it under Dennis Wise as well and done it under Don Revie. I will leave the Plymouth game for one piece if we do get to 8 victories in a row. Patrick Bamford is on 56 goals for Leeds, and a lovely little stat. If he was to score tomorrow, he'd draw level with Gary Speed in the country of Speed's birth on 57 goals. So I think that's a nice little niche to look at there. Other things to look out for, and one I've just put on the Twitter feed: should Ethan Ampadu, Joe Roden, Dan James, and Connor Roberts be on the pitch at the same time tomorrow? It'll be the first time ever we've had 4 Welshmen on the pitch at the same time for Leeds United, ironically in Wales. So that'd be a really nice little stat like we had with Ethan Ampadu.
Are they all like Swansea stats?
Yes, Dan James, Connor Roberts, Ethan Ampadu,
and Joe Roden.
Joe Roden, I think they are. Yeah,
I think they're all like Swansea.
Yeah, that's incredible, isn't it? I don't think that's ever happened before. So that's one to look out for. We're also 3 wins away from 2,000 wins in our history. I sat on Saturday night to double check everything and to work everything out. Thanks to LEC Data and the people that have helped me with that to double check everything. It would be nice to get our 2,000th victory in all competitions against Leicester City a week on Friday. For league victories, we've actually on 1,698, so we need 2 more league victories to get to 1,700 overall. And I think that's just about it as far as sort of team plats and team stats are going for. And we're also looking to do the double over Swansea for the first time since 63-64. And finally, we're also looking to win in South Wales back-to-back, as in league games against both Cardiff City and Swansea City for the first time in our history. We did Norwich and Ipswich home and away. We doubled them, didn't we? To win home away against Ipswich. So we did that as the first time since 73-4. Unfortunately, we did drop points against Cardiff on the opening day of the season. So we won't be able to double. But yeah, it'll be the first time in our history that we'll be able to beat both Swansea City and Cardiff City away from home in the same season. So plenty to get your teeth into. And it's another game I'm very, very much looking forward to. Just hope, fingers crossed, we're in the pink kit.
Or we can't wear the white. Yeah, go pink. I love the blue kit though, but yeah, I get it.
I
It's
know.
probably too dark on the navy. I think it will be the pink kit. Steve Brown has correctly corrected us. Ethan Ampadu did start his career at Swansea. However, let's fix that and let's go back to 4 ex-Swansea players because Joe Pirro played for Swansea, so we're back to 4.
Wow.
So there we go. Back up to 4. So there we go.
Did Ethan Ampadu never have a game at Swansea then?
No, well, it says no youth career, but just says on his wiki, 2016 Exeter, played 8 games there, then went to Chelsea.
Yeah, that makes sense. I never.
Yeah,
that's still incredible, isn't it? To have potentially, theoretically, have 5 ex-Swans in the team if Ampadu obviously did start his career there.
Yeah,
because his farmer Kwame was a Swansea City legend in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah. Born in Devon, Exeter, Devon is where he was born. So he's a Devon boy. Yeah, he is. Good man. Right, so stats, in terms of generalistic stats, is there any big ones to watch out for tomorrow?
I think just the main one is if Leeds can get 7 victories in a row. It's hard enough to get 6, but to get 7 would be unbelievable. It's very difficult to do. Obviously, they've done it in the Championship twice. They've done it in League One. They've done it in Division 1, and they've done it in the Premier League under David O'Leary. So that's kind of the main one to look out for. We are 9 goals away from 7,100 goals in our history. We're not going to get 9 goals tomorrow, but the way we go, we're scoring for fun at the moment. And one little stat I did pick up on Saturday that Glenn Kamara overtook Chris Kamara with his 25th appearance for Leeds. I thought that was a nice little niche stat against Rotherham on Saturday. So that the main ones are win the game. Hopefully, wait and see what Southampton do at Ashton Gate tomorrow. I would love they've put pink there as Arthur, hasn't it? So I hope we've got to win in blue sometime. I know it's been way too long that we've kind of won. We've not won in the away kit in front of fans since Middlesbrough 2020, and that's off the top of my head. When Mateusz Klich scored a goal Wednesday night in 2020 before COVID took over. I think Hull City was the next away game, beat them 4-0, beat Huddersfield 2-0, and the lockdown took over. So fingers crossed we're in pink tomorrow because we're pretty in pink, we look good in pink, and we win in pink. So hopefully.
You know what? I wasn't a fan of the pink kit at the start of the season, but I did love the blue. I did love the blue, and then Dan James scored about a month or so ago, I think it was, before I got injured. And it was my turning point for me of I loved the Bielsa team. I loved watching them. I loved all the players. I really didn't like last season's group, and I'd gotten to a point where I just stopped loving what I was watching. It was more chore to get through. That was a turning point for me, right? Because I really did start to fall really back in love with what we've got there at the moment. So I went off and I ordered the pink kit with Dan James on the back of it. It was like, he deserves. I'm gonna have a Dan James shirt this season because I love the kit. I think it's brilliant. So yeah, I do like it. I would love to see us winning the Peacock kit though, because it's a and I'd like that to stick around a bit longer. Yes. Well, if rumours are to be believed, we will be in a lovely yellow kit next season.
Oh yes, that takes me back to my early days supporting Leeds back in the 90s when we had that Strongbow yellow kit and the Yorkshire yellow kit, which fantastic. So just one of the stats I have picked up on. Should Crescencio Somerville score tomorrow, it'll be his 20th goal for Leeds United, joining level with the likes of Rob Hulse, Robbie Blake on 20 goals for the club, and Mel Zico Sterling from right back who got 20 goals. So look, keep an eye on that one for Crescencio Somerville. Hopefully hit 20 goals for Leeds United, and we'll move up to 105th in our all-time scoring record of Leeds United players.
Considering how young he is, that's not, he'll fly up that ranking, especially he's a terror for when he gets the ball and starts running. To see defenders running backwards immediately now, like they're not even trying to take him, galloping back towards their goal. So I love it.
Absolutely.
Just a couple of starred comments. I don't know if you'll have these stats off the top of your head. Maybe we'll throw them out anyway. So we have a super chat as well come in from Daniel. Daniel, thanks very much for supporting the channel. I really appreciate this. This is an LUFC stat. Which striker from the O'Leary era would you have in Farke's team now?
Do you know who I would have? I know I thought was so unlucky with injuries was Michael Bridges. I thought had he not got injured against Besiktas in the Champions League, I think he'd have gone down Leeds United Folk. Had a brilliant first season. Eleanor in 99-2000 got 21 goals in all competitions, and then he got the horrendous injury in Turkey in the Champions League. And just a show. I was going to say Paducah, but that's probably the obvious one, isn't it?
I'm going to say this out loud. Yeah, he was great. He was great. Wasn't my favourite striker.
Yeah.
I did like Bridgie was great because I assigned kits. I saw the stat about the number 21. We commented at the weekend players that have worn. I saw Martin Hayden's name always pops into my head when I see him. I love Martin Hayden as well. But the blue kit, the Lazio, if you want to call it, kit with the
sky blue one,
for me, that's always going to be the Michael Bridges kit. That will always be the little chest of volley. Always would be the kit. So I'll always associate Michael Bridges with that kit as well. And the Strongbow yellow one, which is interesting. I had that kit for a long time.
I love that kit. Yeah.
I very stupidly, as a young fella, was living in a place with a few mates of mine, and I, without thinking, woke up one morning, was doing my washing, and decided to iron my clothes, and without thinking, put the iron on the back of the Leeds jersey, and just melted the straight through the entire shirt. So
that's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's one of the few shorts, because it was the Champions League era as well. It was one of the few shorts that I did that I don't have anymore, and I would have loved to have had. Couple more for your stats. I don't know if you have these top of your head, so don't worry about it if you don't. Do you lads know any stats on the bookings and suspensions? But we've already mentioned the fact that Ethan Ampadu
is. I think Ampadu's on 7 off the top of my head. If you just bear with, after this program to hand. Yeah. This is live, so I do apologise.
Live TV, folks.
This is live TV. Let's have a look. Somerville is on 6. Yellow cards at the moment, so he needs to be. He's probably on a bit of a tight rope. Sorry, Ampadu's on 6. The FA Cup doesn't count by the looks of things. So Ampadu on 6. Rutter is on 5, and Somerville's on 6 as well. So I think the amnesty is 37 games on top of my head. So it'd be very interesting to see how he does juggle his squad. And of course, at this stage, it is a 2-match ban if you do pick up another yellow card. So fingers crossed that we're the cleanest team in the league by the looks of things as well. So,
yeah, it's a big thing for Ferk. He said start of the season, and I saw his reaction to Charlie Creswell and Mateo Joseph's fouls at the weekend towards the back end of the game. He got really annoyed about giving free kicks around the edge of the box. He's very big on City free kicks, nothing City at all. Question: has all 3 relegated clubs in the Premier League been promoted back the following year?
No, never happened. I've done a bit of research. Never ever happened where all 3 teams that have gone down have come straight back up. I think you have to go way back in the football history for it to happen. I think it's happened maybe once in the 70s off the top of my head, but it's never ever happened certainly in the 30 odd years since the Premier League has been running. And obviously if you go back 94-5, 95-6, 4 went down, 2 came up. So it's kind of started from there. You can look on from 96-7, but no, never in the 34 years of the Premier League or whatever it is. So there's 3 teams that have gone down the previous season and come straight back up the next season.
Cool opponents. TSB are the GOATs. The Square Ball are very much the GOATs. I'm a massive fan of the Square Ball. I'm a regular listener to them every single week. So I do love the lads there as well. They do a cracking job. And the OGs for me. 49ers question. Do you think the 49ers losing the Super Bowl won't make a bit of difference? No, so to make this clear, the 49ers themselves are also owned by the 49ers Enterprise Group with a different investment pool. So the 49ers Enterprises create these different pools of investment that look after different elements of their investment portfolio. Leeds is a different investment portfolio to the 49ers. Correct. The York family are involved in both. Getting to the Super Bowl final is as lucrative as winning the Super Bowl final in itself. So I did watch the first half of the game. I did hear a lovely stat before the match that no team has ever won the Super Bowl having a 10-0 lead at halftime. Guess what happened? 49ers didn't win and 10 up. But disastrous second half for the 49ers, and didn't look after Mahone at all and should have done. We're not here to talk about the 49ers in American football. There are 2 more questions before we wrap up. Question from Phil. Question for stats. When was the last time goal difference affected promotion?
I think I want to say 89-90 off the top of my head, because I know when Leeds won the second division back in 89-90, I think they finished top on goal difference off the top of my head. I don't know if it's ever affected Leeds before that. I'm just going to double check straight away if you give us 2 seconds.
The yellow card ban. John's asking, the yellow card is banned after 19. It's not 19 games. It's 30, isn't it?
It's 30. Yeah. I'm sure it's 37 games because there's 2 amnesties. There's 5 yellow cards and then there's 10 yellow cards. Yeah. And then there is 15 yellow cards. In answer to your previous question, back in season 89-90, Leeds won the championship by 7 goals from Sheffield United because they had a goal difference of 20 plus 27. Sheffield United had a goal difference of plus 20. If you want to go further recently, back in 2011-2012, when Man City won the Premier League from that Sergio Aguero goal against Queen's Park Rangers at the Etihad, which I think a game that long Leeds fans will probably remember.
Yeah, somebody complained about the refereeing standards in the Championship. I go further. The referee standards across the board over the last couple of years have really dropped. I think especially the UK, who are best league in the world, in the Premier League, the most competitive league in the world, the Championship. But I think if you look at the AFCON VAR, it's incredible. They did the African Cup of Nations VAR did a brilliant job at this one. FIFA did a really good job in the World Cup with the VAR. In England, it's not been good, but I think if you also look, there's such a reliance on the Premier League referees on VAR and not giving decisions that when they come down into the Championship, sometimes they forget that they don't have VAR and don't give decisions because they're waiting on someone to tell them there's a check when there's not. So I think there has been a dip in the quality. It's been hard. I do know that I remember reading the stats and they're finding it really hard to get people to go into refereeing in the UK. And they're trying to bring ex-pros to come in and do it now because they've really struggled. To be fair, would you be a referee? Whatever money you got, the amount of abuse?
No, I'd like an easy life, to be honest with you. And I also want to say on the refereeing, this blue card business is a big no-no from me because it's just going to be stop-start. And I'm not there to watch the referee be the star of the show. I'm there to watch the players play football and score goals, not for the referee to blow up every 5 seconds. So, it's not for me is the blue cards.
There's an interesting thing. There was a time where I thought sin bin would have been a really good thing for football. But again, from looking at it from a rugby league perspective, I like rugby league as well. And I thought it did help to get, and you get an immediate punishment, and it's not the team the next week that benefit from that player being new.
Yeah.
And listen to Ange Postecoglou. I have a lot of time for Ange Postecoglou because obviously, ex-Celtic manager. I'm Irish, watching a lot of Celtic. He made a very good point. It will kill the game. Because what will happen is someone will get put in the sin bin for 10 minutes, and then that team that has the team that are down the player will now waste time for 10 minutes, and it will just murder the pace of the game and make it an incredibly bad thing to watch. My advice to anyone who makes the rules about the league is get rid of the people whose job it is to make new rules. They're justifying their positions. There's no need. Leave the game alone. It was better before we start mucking about with it. And I think on the VAR stuff as well, I agreed. I think it was, I'm not going to say Neil Warnock because I hope it wasn't, but I remember hearing a manager say there should be a 30-second time limit on it. And if you can't determine whether it is or it isn't within 30 seconds of looking on a replay, then it's not a clear and obvious mistake and it shouldn't be given. It goes back to the referee's decision on the pitch and we move on, rapid fire and move on. This super slow-mo, it's not how the game is played.
It's not. You're not there. Any decision can be blown up by super slow-mo.
And look worse.
Yeah, not for me.
Yeah, these players are in the best condition any professional footballers have been in the history of football. They're in the absolute top physical condition. They are playing at a tempo on pitches that are like carpets now. So they're playing at rapid pace. Any minor impact now looks way bigger than it is. And then when you slow it right down, it looks like it much worse than it is. In real time, you can't decide in real time. Move on. I'd rather go back to the couple of mistakes that were made this season because of not having technology. The goal line technology has been very, very good. Keep that. Get rid of VAR and move on. The last one, just to wrap up, I just thought I'd throw this up because it's been a really weird week for me in terms of YouTube. I was kind of stuck on 21.5. Not that I'm complaining, I was delighted to be at that. But my number stopped growing. I was like, that's fine. I'm really happy where I am. I'm way ahead of where I thought I'd ever be. And I'm very grateful for everybody that watches my channel and contributes to my channel, including new stats coming on. I really do appreciate it. But something weird happened last week. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, I think YouTube changed their algorithm, but my number started to grow again, and I hit 22,000. And now I'm on 22,800 in less than a week, and I'm that close to 23. So out of nowhere, it's growing again. So Phil, thanks for the shout out there as well. I'm delighted it's going where it is, and I have a lot of people to thank for that. I mean, there's like Andrea, Lockie, Stats, you as well. American Leeds podcast for at the start that I did this. Chris Fox that's helped out from there as well. Brian that's helped out. Brian Paniker has helped out from the States as well. Michael in Canada. Alex, and then you've got Joe Wayman, who I owe an awful lot to Joe for bringing me on his channel and giving me a platform as well, and anybody else. The lads from Not Another League podcast or No Better, just some brilliant people out there. I'm very grateful for being able to get the opportunity to do this and to work with some really, really good people that I used to watch all the time, and I really enjoyed watching. So, yeah, that's going to be my little thank you at the end there to everybody.
Absolutely. And thank you for having me as well every week. It's an honour and it's a pleasure to be on the show with you. That's
my pleasure. I'm looking forward to seeing you for the Southampton game, Stats. I'm looking forward to getting to seeing you.
I'll be there. Just one last thing. March 27th, I'm hosting a quiz night at Ellen Road for the Leeds United Foundation and the Leeds United Food Banks. It's going to be a complete nostalgia night going for the history of Leeds United. Different rounds, goals, mystery guests, voices, all the stuff you name will provide for you. It will be teams of 5, 50 quid a team, for £10 per person, and all the funds for the night will go to the Leeds United Foundation and the Leeds United Food Banks. I think this time of year it can be very difficult for a lot of people. So there'll be more details on my Twitter feed, LUFC Stats, in the next couple of weeks or so.
Yeah, it's a thing I've seen an awful lot, even in Dublin. I was in Grafton Street in Dublin last summer, actually, back in the last summer, and there was a food bank set up on a queue the length of the street, which I've never seen before, and it's a problem all around the world. I know it really is. People are struggling. So again, Stats just gives that detail again if people want to find out more about this charity.
It'll be March the 27th at Ellen Road. We're thinking about 7:15 start. All the details will be on my Twitter feed, LFC Stats, and all money raised will go towards the LFC Foundation and the Leeds United Food Banks, which I think are 2 absolutely fantastic causes.
Yeah, completely agree. Folks, go check that out. Help out if you can. Get involved if you want it as well. It'd be great to see. Stats, massive thanks as always, folks. I will be back tomorrow morning with your Leeds United news and some form of reaction. Sorry, some sort of, I suppose, small prep for tomorrow night's game as well against Swansea as well. So enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks very much as always for watching, and I will see you tomorrow morning for more Leeds news. See you. Thanks. Bye.